We have breaking news out of the NFL where the Ravens have released kicker Justin Tucker. The news comes just a few months after he was accused of sexual misconduct at multiple Baltimore area spas, prompting the NFL to start an investigation. That remains ongoing. Now, Tucker is the NFL's all-time leader in field goal percentage and holds a record for the longest kick in NFL history at 66 yards. He's also the Ravens' all-time leading scorer. Here's a look at the statement released just moments ago by the Baltimore Ravens that reads, "Sometimes football decisions are incredibly difficult, and this is one of those instances. Considering our current roster, we have made the tough decision to release Justin Tucker. Justin created many significant and unforgettable moments in Ravens history. His reliability, focused drive, resilience, and extraordinary talent made him one of the league's best kickers for over a decade. We are grateful for Justin's many contributions while playing for the Ravens. We sincerely wish him and his family the very best in this next chapter of their lives." For much more on this, let's go ahead and welcome in our own lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. JJ, let's just start with your reaction to this news.
You know, Jordan, ultimately not a huge surprise when you consider, look, the Ravens are saying this is a football decision. Well, they made a football decision on the last day of the NFL draft when they drafted Tyler Loop, the kicker out of Arizona. It was the first kicker, in fact, in Baltimore Ravens history that the organization had ever drafted. And so you have a 35-year-old kicker in Justin Tucker coming off what was by far his worst season as a professional, not just his own worst season as a professional. When you consider how great he has been on the field, you noted that he has the highest and best percentage in terms of field goal makes in NFL history, but it was below average among current NFL kickers. And in fact, it's never been easier to make a 50-plus yard field goal in the NFL these days. And he really, really struggled. In fact, the last 2 years, he has made, I believe, just 7 out of 16 50-plus yard attempts. So you have him coming off the worst season of his career. You obviously have allegations totaling more than a dozen from various spas and massage wellness centers across the Baltimore area. And then you draft a kicker who just made a 62-yard field goal in his college career, was pretty accurate there for the Wildcats. And so not a huge surprise that ultimately the Ravens are parting ways with Tucker, but obviously it's obviously a shock anytime one of the best winds up getting released.
Most definitely. Well, you alluded to it that the team insists that this is a football decision. As you mentioned, Tucker's struggles last season were undeniable. But at this point in time, where does the NFL's investigation into all those allegations stand right now?
Yeah, so I just got a text from an NFL spokesman who told me that the matter remains under review. So the NFL has not concluded its investigation and the process that it has been undergoing for really the last several months. When these allegations first came up, I believe it was around January or so. Then in February, and the Baltimore Banner has been at the forefront of the reporting on this, they reported that the NFL investigators had spoken to some massage therapists. Typically, almost always in NFL investigations, they talk to as many people as they possibly can before getting to the accused. So it is unclear at this moment whether the NFL investigators have spoken with Justin Tucker or not. Also very important to note that he has denied all allegations of wrongdoing. And again, in the statement, the Ravens make no note of that. In fact, up until this release, they had said that they would wait on any investigative findings before making a decision. And so, with no end or no conclusion to the investigation, with Justin Tucker continuing to deny these allegations, the Ravens are saying it is a football-only decision, and it's impossible to know if these allegations had not come to the light, whether or not the Ravens would have drafted a kicker in the 6th round, or if Justin Tucker would be released today. But the facts are that that's what's taking place now.
All right, and just lastly here, just to follow up on that, JJ, as the investigation remains open with the NFL, considering all the off-the-field factors with Justin Tucker, how likely, in your opinion, is it that another team picks him up before next season?
So I think that any team would be wanting to wait until the results of the investigation are known, right? I do not foresee an NFL world where someone is going to sign Justin Tucker before the NFL's investigation has concluded, before those findings are made public. Again, he continues to deny all allegations. If the investigation proves him correct, I could absolutely see Justin Tucker on an NFL team at some point in 2025. If the investigation shows what many of these massage therapists are claiming to ultimately be true, it would be difficult for someone who, again, in their mid-30s, who has struggled more than he ever has in his career, find it hard to believe that someone would ultimately sign him for this upcoming season.
All right, JJ, we will leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us here live on CBS Sports HQ with the latest as the Ravens have released kicker Justin Tucker. Here is the look at the statement released just moments ago by the Baltimore Ravens that shows no mention about the sexual misconduct investigation that is ongoing by the NFL, but does read that Justin created many significant and unforgettable moments in Ravens history. It goes on to say that they are incredibly grateful for Justin's many contributions while playing for the Baltimore Ravens, and they sincerely wish him and his family the very best in this next chapter of their lives. We'll continue to keep you posted on all the latest developments out of the Baltimore Ravens organization with this as it continues.